First thing I'm going to do is delete the default cube. Now I'm going to import a reference image of a car to see the reference of the length of the car. I've downloaded an image of a car. Just scale it a little bit. Adjust the location. So now while working on the car, I don't want the background or the reference image to be clickable. So now I'm going to disable the clicking properties of this image. So now I cannot click it while working on the car. Now I will add a cylinder. I will reduce the vertices to 8. Rotate it on the x-axis by 90 degrees. Scale it down a little bit. Move up. We'll scale it in on the y-axis. Just using the reference of the car, not necessary to be exact. Move it a little bit on the x-axis in edit mode. Now I will go into modifiers and add a mirror modifier and enable clipping. And being in the edit mode, I will scale it down a little bit. Move up a little bit. I will only scale it in 2 axes. So to scale in y axis, press S and then shift Y. We'll move it up a little bit. Now the distance between the two cylinders is much more, so I will adjust that also from top view. Now I will add some loop cuts in the front and in the back of the cylinder. Now I will select some faces to delete. X and faces. I think I will also have to delete the front or the faces that are remaining. Just these two faces, and at the back also. X and faces. Looks fine. Now I will select the those edges, all the 3 edges, and from the side view extrude it on Z axis. Now I will select the inside edge from the top view. I will extrude it in X axis. I will just hide this image so it won't be in the middle. Now I'm going to select these vertices and just move them ahead in y-axis, or else you can just press shift V to move just the vertices. Now I will enable the vertex and auto increment. I will select these two vertices, extrude, and press Ctrl and put my cursor on the vertices that need to be to which it needs to stick. So I will repeat the same. extrude and control, and by using cursor uh, point to that vertex. Now I will select this vertex and extrude it on y-axis. I have to make a face. I will select those four vertices and press F to create a face. I will add two loop cuts on the side of the car. I will take these four vertices and press F to make a face. I'll just move it a little bit forward. I will select these two vertices and extrude it down, and then I will select these four vertices and create a face. Now I will select those three vertices and extrude it down. E control and stick it to that vertex, adjacent vertex. Now the same thing we will repeat in the at the rear of the car, at the back of the car. Select these vertices and move them forward. Now I will select these two vertices and extrude it and snap it to the vertex. Extrude and snap. Extrude and snap. Now I will select this vertex and extrude it in y-axis. Now I will select these four vertices and create one face, and then these four vertices and again create a face. I will extrude vertices and then select these four vertices and then create a face. Now I will select all three vertices and extrude it, and by pressing Ctrl snap it to that vertex. I will just add a loop cut to the body of the car from side view, from where the upper part of the car starts and ends. I will go into edit mode, into face select that face and just extrude it on y-axis, on z-axis to an appropriate height. In X-ray mode, I will just select those vertices, front vertices, and move them on y-axis. Same with the back vertices. On in the front view, I will just move these vertices inside so that it will give us a curve shape. Now press Ctrl A and make sure to click on all transform. Now just select that edge in the front top and create a bevel by pressing Ctrl B. Same with the back vertices, back edge. Select that edge and press Ctrl B to bevel it. And just add one more loop to create a door, the door partition. I'll just add one more loop on the top of the car. Move it a little bit. by pressing Shift V. Now go into vertex select. Select those two vertices and press J to connect those two vertices. Now I will go into edge select. Select that edge. We don't need this edge, so I will just X and dissolve edge. Since we need to create a partition, that's why the middle loop cut has been applied. Now we will select these faces to create some windows. I'll just select this edge, and by pressing Shift we just move it a little bit up so that the size would be much greater. It was too small. Now let's just select these faces for the windows. Now press I to insert. Select individual faces and then just adjust the inset values, the thickness of the inset. Now again we will select these faces to extrude it so that it will give a nice shape. Press Alt E and extrude along normals, and press Shift and then move your mouse so that precision control can be applied. And I will just press extrude it inside. Looks good now. Just select the inside that edge and press Ctrl B to bevel it. I will add segments as 3. The width can be anything, that's your choice. And increase the segments to 3 so that we can delete the center faces, and it will create a partition. Press X and delete faces. I will select these vertices, and by pressing Shift we just move it backwards so that a, a thick column can be achieved, because it was too thin. Same thing we will do with the back columns, the back vertices. Select these vertices and Shift V to move them. Select the vertices, Shift V to move. Now we will select these faces, the center faces, to delete them. Select the both faces, X and delete. Now select this edge and move them to join them. Just select the faces and move on X-axis. That's same thing. Now we will do at the rear glass. Delete the faces. Select that edge and move them on X. Select this edge, move them on X, and the same thing here also. Now here I will add one more loop cut to create the partition of the door. Go into vertex select, move that vertex by shift V. I will select these two vertices and join them by pressing M at last. Just move this vertex a little bit, just to adjust. Now select the entire edge and press Ctrl B to bevel it. The segments would be 3 and the width can be anything, just like we did it before. Select the center faces by pressing Alt and clicking, then X and deleting the faces. Now we have created this door. Now I will just select these bottom edges. Make sure to select all the edges, those small edges between those the partitions also. I will deselect this the back edges. Only the side edges we have to select. Now enable proportional editing. Now pressing G, just scrolling the mouse wheel. I will just adjust the size of the proportional editing, and on x-axis I will just give the car a little bit of curve. In the front view, I will just select the center edges or the center vertices and move them a little bit up on Z axis to give them a little bit of curve. Now in the front, in the side view, I will select all the top edges and bring them down a little bit. So that it looks like a car. I'll select this vertex and move it a little bit forward. This also. In the top, you will from top I will select the center edges and move them a little bit forward on y-axis so that it gets a shape of a car. In the back also I will do the same. I will select these vertices and move them a little bit on the y-axis to give it a nice shape. I'm just pressing Shift V to move those vertices. Just adjust a little bit. This is the front side. I will add one more loop cut. I'm going to create a grill. I'm going to select these two faces and press I to insert. Disable the individual checkbox and adjust the thickness accordingly. Now selecting these two faces, I will extrude it on Y axis. So, I will select the inner edge on these two edges and just move them on Y axis forward a little bit. I will select this vertex and move it on X axis to give a little bit of curve. I will add one more loop cut, and I will by using knife by pressing K, I will add one more edge. As you can see, some anomalies can be created, so just select these two vertices, press M and join them. At last, go into edge select, select this edge and dissolve the edge. Now I'm going to select these faces. Yeah, it is also important to go into edit mode and remove all the duplicate vertices. Now I will select all these edges and extrude it along normal by pressing Alt E to create a bumper. I will adjust these vertices to the correct height by selecting those vertices, pressing G, Z, and by pressing Ctrl I can uh, snap those vertices to the proper vertices or the adjacent vertices. I will do the same with all the other vertex. From front view also you have to make it in a straight line. I will just adjust the shape of this bumper so that it would be in a straight line. I will do the same for the back bumper also. Add a loop cut. Select those faces. Press Alt E to extrude along the normals. And here also I will adjust the shape a little bit. Just select those vertices, press G, Z, Control and put your cursor to the adjacent vertices along which you want to adjust the that vertex. Just adjust it from all the views. I will create some headlights. I will select the face, insert it a little bit. I will just move forward that inserted face by pressing G on y-axis. I will insert it more, and I will move that face backward inside. Now I will insert it more and then move it forward or extrude it forward. And then I'm going to bevel it by pressing Ctrl B. I will just select the face and insert it one more time, and the face that is selected I will just move it forward in the y-axis so that it will give a nice curvature. I will do the same at the back also. Select that face, I will insert, or first I will scale it down a little bit since it is a rear tail lights. And now I will insert it, move it inside a little bit, insert it more, and then I will extrude it outside, and then I will scale it down a little bit, and I will then bevel it by pressing Ctrl B. Just go into X-ray mode, and then I will try to lift the rear end a little bit. I will just select this vertices and try to match it with the reference image. I'm just going to edit mode and bring those vertices up a little bit forward, upward on Z axis, so that it would look like it is the rear end of the car.